morning everyone, happy Monday, time for Shibashi. So doing my Shibashi practice. Hopefully get a few of you to join in with me. It's going to be a lovely week, nice and bright and sunny. So yeah, we're feeling good. Andy's had his COVID jab, no ill effects, so that's one down, one to go. Yeah, cracking on with things. Who have we got on board? Hi Chris, good morning. Bet Jane's there as well too. She's usually ready and waiting for me. So we are going to do the next section of the Qigong 10 movements, 10 fingers massage at the end of this set. So if you were following along with that last week, you get to do the next 4 moves. And it's 4 because 6 and 7 are the same, just one side and the other. It'll make sense when we do it. And yeah, we'll have a little bit of a warm-up as usual, do a practice Shibashi set so everyone can check in on themselves to see how the balance is doing this week, and have a bit of fun, have a bit of smiles. Make sure you've got your water with you. I'm trying to keep the video to come in just under the full hour, so if I can do that, because then it means I can post it onto Instagram without doing any kind of cutting or anything like that, so it's easier for me. Morning Jean. So yes, updates on things. I've just had my election letter, so for the local elections that are going on in May, that's May the 6th, there will be polling stations open. It is all happening. I'm going to be over at Great Elm, and for Mendip area we will have face masks that we'll be wearing. Your polling clerks, if you're going into the station, will be sat behind perspex screens this time, so that'll be new. There'll be hand sanitizer there, and from what I understand there'll be a pile of masks for people who are coming in to vote can grab a mask and put it on and vote as safely as possible. So that's what's happening. So if you do go into a polling station, you'll see us more sat like bank cashiers, so we'll be behind a screen this time. So that's the news on the block there. I've got some invigilation work starting again next week back at the college, so that's good. So things are starting to happen. We'll slowly get back to something like we used to know. And yeah, that's the haircuts are all booked, pedicures booked, everything's getting booked. We're actually getting things in the calendar now, so really happy about that. Feeling positive this week. Good morning Pauline and Jane and Lynn. Hi, nice to see you all online. It's all ladies again today. Hopefully we get some men doing this in the background or afterwards. I know it's more ladies than guys. I'll do have a few guys in normal times. So waiting to find out exactly when the hall will reopen. Once we get the go ahead for that, we'll start back in Holcombe. And then if everything goes well with no third wave, no more lockdowns, things like that, then I'll look to open the Chilcompton classes up probably a couple of months after the Holcombe one's been going. So that's kind of where we're at. As always, we'll keep going with Facebook, we'll keep going with YouTube, we'll keep getting the practice videos out there, and it won't be too much longer before we can all meet up in person. Morning Jill. Right, standing up for our warm-up. As always, do as little as you need to. Don't overstretch, over-push yourself. Feet facing forwards. Just going to start by turning the head from one side, holding it for about 4 or 5 seconds, back to the centre, and turn to the other side. So just trying to get a gentle stretch through the neck as we start to get moving. Just gently rotating one side to the other side. Then drop that chin down. Gently stretch through the back of the neck as you're turning the head again one side to the other. Really let that chin drop down, roll across the front of the chest. And bring the head back to centre. Just going to keep the head still and move the eyes, looking up, down, to the right and left. Up, down, right and left. Up, down, right and left. Shoulders up to the ears and let them drop. Bring them up, let them drop. One more, coming up and down. Then one shoulder at a time, up to the ear, let it go. And the other side. Alternating shoulders. And then the whole arm, right arm coming forward and around. Just starting to get some movement into the shoulder. Biggest circle as you can comfortably manage. Going forward. And then at least 3 circles back. So keep the movement at whatever level you can manage. Changing arms. Coming forward and around. And then back. Hands coming to the front of the shoulder blades. We're going to move the elbow, circling that elbow forwards and around. And taking it back. Changing arms, forward and around with the elbow. What about itchy nose? It's funny when I do that in class sometimes you see everybody else moves their hand to the nose. And circling back. I know you're all concentrating so hard. Drop the arms. We're going to swing the arms around the torso, tapping the front of those shoulders. A big swing and a big strong tap. Arms coming to the front of the body, soft elbows and soft wrists, and just circle those hands inwards. So soft, relaxed hands, circling the hands. Then take them back out the other way. So moving at the wrist, try and make sure the shoulders are still relaxed and down. Then make 2 fists with these hands with the knuckles facing away from you. Good strong fists, trying to keep the back of the hand nice and flat going through the wrist joint there. It's a big stretch out of those fingers. Keep breathing. Back into fists. And stretch those fingers. So imagine I'm tugging every finger out of its socket, trying to get them as long as possible. Back into fists. And then one more. This time think about the width between the little finger and the thumb. Big wide stretch of the hand. Release the hands. Take the right hand palm up. Gently pull back on the fingers. Just stretch out the inner wrist. Holding it for a couple of breaths and changing sides. Pulling back on the fingers to stretch out that wrist. Drop the hands. We're going to stretch both sides of the body. So you're going to push down with one hand, up with the other. Just step back a little bit so you can see me. Lengthening both sides as you reach up to the sky. Push down to the earth, looking up towards that top hand. And changing sides. So reaching up and pushing down. Turn the head to the side and slightly look up towards that hand, but don't throw the head back. You shouldn't feel anything in the neck at all. One more to each side. Big reach up and push down. Get along through both sides of the body. Hips are still staying facing forwards, not side bending, just lengthening. And last one to the other side, pushing up, reaching down, getting long through the side of that body. Now stretching across the chest, bow and arrow stretch. You're going to point one arm out long, doesn't matter which one. Pull back across the chest, look down that long arm and hold that stretch. Keep breathing, don't hold your breath. Breathing nice and slowly and naturally. And changing sides, pointing the finger out, pulling back across the chest. So hopefully if you've got any tension through those shoulders, the stretching will help start to ease them. Dropping the hands. Heels of the hands going into the lower back, pushing down and out. So kidney wiping, pushing down and out. Much pressure as you can muster. And then try and pick the speed up, pushing down and out. Warming the lower back, encouraging the blood supply into that area before we start to move it too much. Trying to do at least 20 of these. Don't worry about where your hands reach to, just go to wherever's comfortable. The more you do it, the more flexibility you'll get in those shoulders. And then relax the hands, give them a little shake. And then take the hips round, going round one way. So you're aiming to keep the head fairly still in space as the centre of the body moves. The ankles are getting some movement now. Got an imaginary hula hoop. And you're trying to get the hips going in all directions. Then we'll take them back the other way. You might well find that one way is much easier than the other. Back to centre, moving to the knees. So the knees you're going to give a good rub. As you're doing this, look towards the floor. And you're really trying to warm up that knee joint. So go all in and around the kneecap, as firm as you can manage. And if your knees are okay with this, we'll circle them. If not, just keep rubbing the knees. I'm going to circle both knees inwards. So keep the hands on the knees. And start to circle in. You'll see the feet moving and the ankles moving. Then back the other way. Circling out. Then keeping the fingers to the knees, you're going to look up to the right, back through centre to the left. We're going to go from one side to the other as fast as you can manage it, because we are looking to warm up. Straightening back up. Take the right foot half a step forwards, and then you're going to lift from the toe, rocking back towards the heel, holding it up there for a gentle calf stretch. Lower the toes, and again, raising the foot up from the front so you can feel that stretch in the back of the lower leg. Lower the toes, one more. Bringing the toes up, stretching the calf, lowering down. Turn the foot and the leg to the side, so the knees pointing out the same way as the foot. You're still facing forwards. Lift and lower again. And lower. So now you should feel it more up into the buttocks. Standing leg buttocks switched on a little bit, but the one you're lowering and lifting is really working as you pull the front of the foot up. Stepping back. Same again with the other leg. So half a step forwards, lifting from the toes, coming up into that calf stretch. Lowering down. And again, coming up. Lowering down. One more. And down. Then we'll turn the foot and the leg point out to the side, lift and lower again. So stretching out through the side of the leg and down, lifting up and down. One more. And back down. Stepping back, and lift the right heel up and circle that ankle round one way. Then circle it back the other way. Drop the heel down, change sides, coming up onto the ball joints of that foot, of the toes, circling the ankle one way, and then circle it back the other way. Drop the heel down. I'm going to heel tap to the front, so you're going to bring a heel up towards the front, shift the weight into the standing leg, and just tap with the opposite hand. Tap into the front. And then we're going to take the foot up behind to tap to the back. So don't worry about if you're not reaching the foot, you're just tapping in the general direction. You might hit somewhere else, doesn't matter. Just try and get that movement, kicking the heel up and reaching towards it with the opposite hand. Then facing forwards, finish, we'll march through the feet. So you're going to march toe, toe, heel, heel. Outside foot, inside foot, inside foot. Off we go. Toe, toe, heel, heel. Out, in, toe, toe, heel, heel, out, in, toe, toe, heel, heel, out, in, toe, toe, heel, out, in, toe, toe, heel, heel, out, in. Last one, out, in. Brilliant. Warm up completed. Grab a drink. Make sure you've got water handy. Keep drinking as much as you can. It's surprising how much you need the fluids as you're practicing this, even once we get into the slow stuff. So, who else have we got? Pauline, Natalie just now, Jill, Lynn. Lovely. Thanks for joining in, folks. We'll start the Shibashi set now. So, for anyone who is not familiar with how I work, the warm-up, you can take any bits of that you want to. Don't worry about remembering it all. If you're going to practice the Shibashi at home, you'll be concentrating on that, but you might think before you start, my shoulders are a bit stiff, so just do a bit of arm rolling, a bit of shoulder shrugging before you start. If you find it's your lower back that is always a little bit sticky first thing, then get some kidney wiping and hip rotating and things like that in. And if it's your ankles that are always playing up, then concentrate on those. Just give them a little bit of attention before you start, but it doesn't matter which way you do it. So don't worry about trying to remember the warm-up as I do it. It's just I start at the top of the body, working the way down, just a general cover everybody. But you know your own body. Do what you feel you need to do before you start moving. Simple as. Right, coming back up. So we've got our Shibashi set. Shibashi means 18 movements. We're going to do 18 movements. We will be doing about 8 of each one. So about 8 breaths of each movement. We're trying to get the breath to last for 5 seconds in, 5 seconds out. As we work, my breaths will hopefully and probably go a little bit longer than that. If it's difficult for you to match the breathing, then breathe to whatever's comfortable for you. So match your movements to your breathing rather than mine, but be conscious to try to slow it down. So be wary of speeding up. I'm going to give you the breaths and the move names as we go through. And odd little pointers here and there. So we're going to start in Wuji, feet facing forwards, hip bone distance apart. And relax, start to slow that breathing. Remember, we're breathing from the belly. So as you take a breath in, all your muscles are relaxing, the belly's expanding. As you breathe out, you're thinking about contracting the pelvic floor muscles front and back, squeezing the air out from the bottom, through the stomach, and then finally on the out breath, the rib cage will drop down slightly as you're empty. Then you take a big breath in and let everything go. So remember, tummy expanding on the in-breath. Slowing that breathing down. Close your eyes if you want to as you relax into Wuji. Thinking about the feet being firmly rooted to the ground. You've got anchor points in your foot through the little toe ball joint, big toe ball joint and the heel of the foot. And try and get equal weight through both feet. Breathing in and out through the nose if you can. If not, in through the nose, out through the mouth. Gentle tilt back of the pelvis, only very slightly. Make sure you're relaxing the buttocks. Knees are very slightly softened. Shoulders are relaxed and down. Arms are hanging open to the side of the body. The little fingers just resting towards the front of the thighs. Hands are relaxed, wrists are relaxed. Now think about a straighten through the front of the body as you pull the front line of the body up, length through the front. Then length through the whole body as you think about the golden thread pulling you up tall through the crown of the head. And relax the jaw, relax your face. No frowning, no tension. Slowing the breathing down before we start. Open the eyes. Going to step out to at least shoulder width apart with the feet. Go to wherever's comfortable for you. Feet facing forwards. Take a moment just to adjust the feet. If you lift the toes up, spread them wide and lower them back down. So you've got a good, firm, strong base. You're rooted to the floor. Soften those knees, going to go slightly down. You take a breath in, bringing the hands up to commence. And breathing out, lowering down. Breathing in, straightening up. And breathing out, lowering down. Breathing in. And out. And out. So the two rules for this set, knees behind toes. As you lower back down, make sure you're not sending the weight out through the knees. Have a quick look if you need to. You can still see your toes, all's good. Breathing in, straightening up, out. Changing the move, broaden one's chest, breathing in, arms coming out and wide. Breathing out, lowering back down. And in. And out. So as you take these arms out to the sides, your hands are still in your peripheral vision here. You're not throwing the chest forward at all. Breathing out. And in. Straightening up through the legs on the in-breath. And breathing out. Lower slightly down. Feel the tops of the legs switch on. Thighs working. Breathing in. And out. One more. Take a breath in. And out. Lowering down. Straightening up now, shifting the weight into one leg as you turn to the side, dancing with rainbows. Breathing in. and out. Take a breath in. And out. So head's turning from side to side. Eyes follow that active hand. Top hands come into rest just above the front of the crown of the head. Bottom arms out, bent, palm facing you as you turn to that open hand. Breathing in. And out. And in. And out. So second rule, 70% effort. If a big rainbow above your head's difficult, make the move smaller. You shouldn't be in any pain at all. You should feel a fatigue and a muscle working, but not any sharp pains. The minute you get that, have a rest. Take the movement smaller. Only turn to the side as far as you can comfortably go. Breathing out, hands coming back to centre. We're changing the move, circling arms, lowering down on that out breath, crossing at the wrists, arms coming up on the in, and down. Breathing in, and out. Coming up, thinking tall, lowering down. So as you lower down, thinking about the torso staying straight and in neutral, breathing in and out. Not sending the chest forwards or back, breathing in and out. Last one, breath in and out. So we finish that out breath, hands are coming, palm up, you're going to turn to the side. Breathing in, swinging that arm up and over past the ear. Breathing out, as you cross the hands through the centre. Other side, breathing in and out. Slightly lowering at the knees through that out breath. Straightening up on the in as you turn to the side. And out. Breathing in. And out. One more to each side. So swinging arm, twisting waist. And out. Does what it says on the tin, swinging that arm up and over. And breathing out to the front. Changing the move, back to the hands face away from you. Straightening up, arms coming up. Palms facing the floor, breathing out, lowering down. Rowing a boat, turning in that shoulder joint, breathing in. And out. And in. And out. Straightening up, thinking tall through the crown of the head as you breathe in, then lowering down on that out breath. Last one. So from rowing a boat, you know what comes next? Holding a ball. So you're going to lift a heel and a hand palm up as you reach across the body. Breathing in, holding the ball coming up onto the toes. Turning the hand to face down. Breathing out, back through centre. Soften the knees on the out breath. Other side, breathing in and out. Heads turning from side to side, eyes following that active hand. Breathing out. Now if you can, lift the heel on the standing leg too, if you've got the balance. Breathing out. So the leg you're reaching away from, you're coming right up onto the ball joints of the toes of that foot. The standing leg is coming up maybe an inch, half an inch off the ground, so nowhere near as high. Breathing in, reaching up. Come higher if you can balance, but start slowly. And breathing in. And out. Okay, last one to this side, so we evened ourselves up. Lowering down, heels staying flat to the floor. Both hands now as you carry on across the body. Carrying the moon. Breathing out through centre. Straightening up, breathing in. Slightly lowering down, breathing out. And in. And out. Breathing in, looking back under that top armpit as you turn to the side. Breathing out. And in. Only twisting to the side as far as you can comfortably manage. So don't worry if you're not going very far at all. Twisting from the waist, trying to keep those hips facing forwards. Breathing out. So imagine the headlights shining forwards. Breathing in, twisting from the waist. Breathing out. And the last one. Breathing in. And out. Take a breath in through centre. Think tall and long, carrying on moving, pushing the heel of the hand out. Breathe in to pull it back. Breathing out. And in. Breathing in. Breathing out as you push the heel of the hand away. In to pull it back. Twist waist, push palm. Now remember, you're trying to focus on the top half of the body doing the moving. And breathing out. Changing, playing with clouds, pushing the heel of the hand out, bringing the arm in, palm to face you. Take a breath in, turning from the waist as far around to the other side as you can get. Change the hands, breathing out. And in. So if you're getting in a pickle, top elbow leads the way. Breathing out. Make sure you're relaxed through that thumb joint. Breathing in. And out. So keeping that top arm parallel to the floor. Eyes glued to the back of the palm of the top hand. as you rotate. Breathing in. And try and be conscious about what that top shoulder's doing. Try not to hike it up at all. Keeping that shoulder relaxed and down. Changing the move. So facing whichever side you're facing, you're going to take that foot half a step forward and turn it. Scooping the seat. Back heel comes up. Heel drops. Raise those toes. Breathing in. And out. Now remember, you can go down as low as you're comfortable with and come back into a little bit of extension. Challenge that balance wherever you're happy working. Breathing in and out. If you need to, keep the circle smaller. Breathing in and out. Go to wherever you're comfortable. As we breathe out, we change sides. Stepping back, turning the other foot. Breathing in. I apologise because I've got a sneeze coming. Oh, excuse me. I just feel that itch in my nose. Breathing out. And in. Remember, as you lift those front toes, try not to lock that knee out on the leg. Concentrating on keeping the legs soft. Breathing in. And out. Challenge your balance. Go a little bit lower. And back into extension. Do one more this side. Breathing in. And out. Stay in this side, changing the move. Breathing in as you bring the hands up. Breathe out to push them away. Playing with waves. Breathing in. And out. Really working through the lower part of your body, using the core muscles as you're balancing. Breathing out. And in. Remember, you're not straightening the arms, not actually moving too far away from the bodies. The body's moving with them. Looks like you're reaching a long way. Breathing out. As we breathe back in, we're going to change sides, straightening the foot, turning the other one. And off we go. Breathing out and in. Trying to do 8 of these, but I've already lost count. Breathing out and in. Do 2 more. Pushing away, playing with waves. And the last one, pushing the waves away. Trailing your fingers, coming back. Stay in this side, pushing away, turning the palms to face you. Breathing in, spreading wings. Breathing out. And in. And out. So everything we remembered before. Not going back too far with the arms. Hands are still in the peripheral vision. Chest isn't popping forwards. Breathing in. and out. Shoulder width as you reach forward so the hands never meet. Breathing in and out. In breath back to centre, change the sides around. Breathing out and in. Double check those thumbs. Breathing out. So if you need to bring the arms down a little bit lower, if they're starting to fatigue, I think it's always by about spreading wings that you start to realise you've been actually doing something. Things get tired about here. So we come back to centre. You get to give those arms a little bit of a rest as you straighten the feet up and bring the elbows into the side of the body. Fists with fingers facing upwards, softening the knees. Take a breath in to start. And then breathe out, slightly straighten as you punch away. Breathing in to come back. Breathing out. Slow punch, turn in hand as it comes back in. So we've got good strong arms here, soft at the elbow, so you're never fully extending. Breathing out, coming out at shoulder height if you can. Breathing in. But you're imagining the air is quite thick, you're not just flying them about, you've got control over these arms. And last one, breathing out. And in. Drop the hands to the side, release the fingers, give them a little wiggle, little fingers to the side of the front of the thighs. Flying like a wild goose, breathing in, coming up onto the toes. And out, lowering back down. I'm just going to step back a little bit because I know my hands are going off the screen now. Breathing in, onto the toes, that's better. Breathing out, lowering back down. Okay, remember, in breath, ball joints of the toes of the feet, as high as you manage. Slow lower down, concentrate on both legs moving at the same time. So hopefully, both heels should hit the floor together. Breathing in. You'll be aware if you're using one half of the body more than the other. Breathing out. If you can't come up very high, don't worry at all. Go to wherever you can comfortably manage. As you breathe out, the hands return to the thighs. Breathing in. Backs of the hands lead the way as you come up. Then the wrists leading the way as you lower down. Breathing in. And focus ahead of you, slightly down with your eyes and your gaze to help the balance. Last one, breathing in. And out. As you lower the heels down, you're sinking into those knees. Both hands now. Breath in, coming up and around. I'm going to do the full movement to start. Breathing out. So circling arms like a spinning wheel. Breathing in through 3 o'clock, through to 9 o'clock. Breathe out through the bottom of the move. Breathing in. And out. Smaller move if you need it. Just take the hands round, breathing in. Keep the head still if you're doing this version. Out through the bottom. Breathing in. And out. Change direction, so give those arms a little swing, whichever version you're doing. Breathing in. and out. You feel that weight shift 60-40 through the legs as you bring the arms down one side. Breathing out. I'm going to go back into the full version now. Breathing in. Slight back extension through midday if you're doing the full version. Breathing out. Hands face each other. Elbows are still soft. No straight arms. Last circle round. Breathing in. And out. Straightening back up. Coming to centre. Chest t-shirt. Bouncing a ball. So opposite foot to hand. Start off with a heel raise if you need to. Breathing out. Stick with this. Breathing in. And out if you need to. If you can manage it, it's a knee lift. Breathing out. Breathing in. And out. Now if you can, introduce a heel raise onto that standing leg. Breathing out. And in. And out. In. And out. Let that foot dangle when you've got it in the knee raise. And back down. Feet facing forwards, press palms, breathing in. Hands coming up to the nose. Breathing out, pushing the hands down. So as you breathe in, hands are a little bit further away from the body. And as you breathe out, slightly closer to you, pushing back down. Straightening up through those legs, feeling long through the front, tall through the head. And then lowering back down, pelvis slightly back. Switching on those legs, breathing in. And out. 2 more. Breathing in. And out. Calming it down, breathing in. And out. We're going to step back to hip bone distance apart with the legs. Soft prayer position down the front line of the body. Left hand, then right hand onto the lower tummy, lower dantian. And you're going to relax back, calming everything down. Close your eyes now as you take some long, deep breaths in and out. And out. Breathe in. And out. Check through the body as you're breathing now. Think about having equal weight through both sides of the body. Feet are flat and secure to the ground. Soft at the knees. Relaxed buttocks. Pelvis tipping slightly backwards. Hands and thumbs are relaxed. Shoulders are relaxed and down. Jaws relaxed. Tall through the crown of the head, long through the front of the body. And that's it, Shibashi set done for today. So if you're shooting off, we're going to just do the quick cool down, but please stay around if you can to do the next set of the Qigong massage that I've been doing. So, big rub of the hands together. Thank you all for joining in. I'm sure you all look beautiful, all graceful. And then take the hands, we're going to rub the face, in and around the face. So dry wash of the face, round the ears. And then into the scalp, good rummage. The scalp massage, shake the hands. Going to tap down the outside of both arms. I'm going to tap really quite firmly up the inside. It leads quite on nicely to the hand massage points we'll be doing in a minute. Down the outside of the legs, from the buttocks, all the way down to the ankles if you can get there. Up the insides, tappity tap, and then wiping the arms. Wipe away, outside arms, inside arms, outside the legs, and inside the legs. Grab a little drink of water, those of you who are staying with me. You can sit down now if you'd like to. You can stay standing up, doesn't matter at all. You can sit on a cushion on the floor, cross-legged on the floor. Whatever suits you, whatever you're comfortable with. So I'll move back a little bit. Right. So I'm going cross-legged. If you are cross-legged, then grab a buttock and pull it back as you sit down to help get that pelvis tilting forwards. We're thinking about, again, tall through the front here and tall through the crown of the head. Now the massage Qigong, we started last week, 10 movements altogether. If you weren't here last week, we'll do, and if you were and you've forgotten what we did, we'll do a quick recap of the first 3 moves. So movement number 1, which is aiming at relaxing the face and giving you a healthy face in general. So just everything regarding the face. We're making 2 fists. As you make those fists, you're going to tuck the thumbs underneath. So we're looking at this section here of the hand, that circular bit there, on both hands. Keep the shoulders relaxed and down. Slow your breathing. And you're just tapping together those fists, sorry, not even, wrists is next, it's fists. You're aiming for 60 to 100 times you're going to be tapping this. We're not going to do that many now because we covered this one last week. We will when we put it all together at the end. Next move, move 2, strengthen and heal the heart. You're making 2 like lotus flower shapes with the hands. And we're looking at the inside of the wrist there. That's the bits that are tapping together. So if you've got your lady bumps in the way, you might have to adjust them a bit to get the arms comfortable. But you're looking at tapping here for move 2. So this is for strengthening and healing the heart. So tap in here. Then move 3. Keeping the same position, but we're looking at from the little finger down the outside edge of the hand. So those are the bits that are tapping and touching together. So that's move 3. So those are the 3 we did last week. Give the hands a shake and then we move on to the next 4 moves. So move number 4, so move 3 was for headaches. Move number 4 is for toothache and headaches. And we're looking at the area between the thumb and the index finger. So this bit here on both hands. And what you're going to be doing is tapping them together here. Relax my fingers a little bit. So tapping quite firmly 60 to 100 times again. And it's trying to get a massage into that point running between the thumb and the index finger. So these are the points that they use with acupressure, acupuncture as well. We can't have somebody round doing that for us, so we've got to try and do it ourselves. Don't worry which way your hands are, whichever's more comfortable for you, just to get those 2 points hitting against each other. You should be able to hear the tap, 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 and that's the kind of speed we're aiming for, 60 or up to 100 of those. That's move 4. Or toothache and headaches. Okay, next move. So move number 5. This is to give you more energy. So if you're feeling a bit knackered out, this is the one you need to do. And we're now looking at the gaps between the rest of the fingers. So we've just done that one. We're looking at making open hand space between the fingers, interlink the fingers like that. And then you're going to start tapping them together. Trying to get all of them. The little finger's quite hard to get into, so you might have to adjust your hand so that you're getting all 4 of them. And if you've got any rings or things like that on, you might find it easier if you take those off. You've got a lot of jewellery on. 60 to 100. It's quite hard work on the arms, this is. Tapping them together. And release the hands, and then move 6 and 7. So we do one side of the body and the other, and this is working on the immune system and all the internal organs. So you definitely want to take a ring off if you're doing this one. Right hand first of all, palm, and we're looking at massaging across here on the palm, but you're doing it with the fist of your other hand. So we'll have a fist and a palm, and you're going to bash them together like this. So they're both moving slightly, but I suppose it's the palm that's doing more of the movement. And the elbow wherever's comfortable for you. Trying to keep a straight wrist here, bashing against the palm of that hand. And really nice and firm. You're aiming for the palm of the hand to get quite hot. This is self-massage. So again, 60 to 100 times. And then we're going to change sides. So again, palm to fist. And using the knuckles of the fist into that section of the hand. Just breathe normally. Nice little smile on your face while you're doing this. So this is move number 7. We're looking at giving the immune system and all the internal organs, the heart, liver, lungs, everything's having a little gentle nudge and a wake up. And relax the hands, give them a little shake. So that's the next section of that. When we get to next week, we will do the last 3 moves, which you're going to love. Trust me, you're going to love them. And then we'll put them all together. So that's it. I'm done for today. Hope you enjoyed it. I'll be back next week. See you soon. Any questions, any problems, give me a shout. Bye now.